Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Americans are being warned not to travel to China because of the coronavirus. This was the alert from the U.S. State Department tonight. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. The numbers growing fast and spreading worldwide, including here in the U.S. Right now, China has reported more than 9,600 cases, 213 deaths. 6 people have tested positive in the U.S.
We have team coverage of the coronavirus outbreak. Let's begin with our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura in the Live Center with the new details that are pouring into the newsroom. Anthony.
Well, you guys mentioned that travel warning. Here it is on the State Department website, that travel advisory issued just today. Level 4, as you can see here, it is the highest of the travel advisory levels, basically telling people do not travel to China right now. And this just in, according to the San Diego Union Tribune, the University of California system has suspended all non-essential travel to China, which could impact all of its campuses, including UCSD.
The coronavirus creating new concerns after doctors confirmed the first human-to-human transmission happening in the U.S. Health officials say it was transmitted between an Illinois husband and wife, both in their 60s. The wife had traveled to China and was diagnosed with the virus last week. The husband did not travel, but is now sick. Chinese officials confirming thousands of cases of coronavirus, and a death toll is climbing. American families there at the epicenter of the global health emergency have paid thousands of dollars for charter flights back to the U.S.
When we first stepped on board, my jaw dropped. I've never seen a plane set up like that before. It was a wide open cargo plane, but had passenger seats in it. It felt like something out of a movie.
Nearly 200 Americans were quarantined at a Riverside military base.
We're hoping to get back home this weekend.
One of them now under mandatory quarantine after trying to leave the base. Blood samples along with swabs were taken from passengers. They've been sent to the CDC for testing.
And China says that it is working to bring home residents from some of these virus-afflicted regions. They're working to bring them home from overseas by sending charter flights for them. We're reporting live in the Live Center. Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Thank you, Anthony. And back here at home, San Diegans are getting prepared for the worst. 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena is live at Lindbergh Field, where some travelers are worried the coronavirus will impact their next flight. Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. San Diego is one of 20 airports across the U.S. that are now screening passengers for the coronavirus. And although those efforts are focused at passengers coming from China, there are plenty of other travelers that are very worried right now. Most anyone you ask at the San Diego airport is well aware of the quickly spreading coronavirus.
My daughter texted me to warn me about it. She's like, be careful.
Diana Schultz just returned from the East Coast.
When I was coming in, there were a lot of people that were leaving that had masks on. I saw that. On my plane, not so much.
She and others are on high alert these days just being at an airport. In addition to screening passengers from China, airlines are reducing or even canceling service to the region. At this San Diego Home Depot, they're sold out of protective face masks. Before that, they were limiting the number people could buy. Store employees say they've heard people are shipping them to China. And while many people are worried about protecting themselves from a very real threat, there's also fake information getting out there.
It definitely doesn't look like it was hacked at all. It looks 100% like if I wasn't in ASB and I didn't know about it, and I didn't have like a close connection with admin, I definitely would have believed it and would have probably told my mom that I wasn't going to school.
3 different posts surfacing today claiming students in the San Diego Unified School District are infected. Mount Miguel, Grossmont, and West Hills, all bogus. A district spokeswoman says attendance hasn't been impacted and school leaders are investigating the sources of the misinformation. Now, you might recall this week, San Diego County health officials were concerned that a patient here in San Diego County might have coronavirus, but those results finally came back from the CDC and they tested negative. We're reporting at the San Diego International Airport. Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
Some good news there. Thank you, Lindsay. And you can have breaking news sent right to your phone about the coronavirus. It's all on the 10 News app. A free version is available for download in the App Store.
Tomorrow may be the last day of January, but it's going to feel more like June. Our meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking where we're going to see temperatures in the 80s tomorrow.
That's right. And if you're from out of town and you're really excited about this, it doesn't happen every day. The average high for San Diego is 65 degrees, but tomorrow it's going to be close to 80. A wind advisory is in effect for our mountains and inland communities until 4 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. The winds are light, but they're going to pick up, and they're already doing that in Campo, expecting gusty conditions overnight and into tomorrow, and relative humidity even at night, when it's typically the highest, is running fairly low at 31% in Julian. Overnight lows will be pretty chilly around the county, but those numbers will warm up rapidly by 11, already in the 70s in San Diego. I'll show you how long that warm up is going to last.
Thank you, Angelica. The company that owns the helicopter in which Kobe Bryant and 8 others died is suspending operations. Island Express will only say it's doing so for operational reasons. FAA records reviewed by CNN show the company was only certified for flights that stay clear of dense fog. Sunday's crash happened in thick fog that grounded police and sheriff's helicopters.
The owner and president of the Lakers also made her first public comments on the death of Kobe Bryant. Jeannie Buss called Bryant a part of her family who gave her inspiration and strength. The investigation into the helicopter crash is still moving forward tonight. And the foggy conditions the aircraft was in, they are being scrutinized. And the wreckage of that chopper was moved by the NTSB to Arizona today to be analyzed. In LA, the coroner has officially identified all 9 who were on board using fingerprints and DNA. Their cause of death is listed as blunt trauma. The Lakers play their first game since Bryant's death tomorrow.
Probably makes it a little harder than an ordinary game with all the emotions.
And Vanessa Bryant took to Instagram yesterday with a tribute to her late husband and daughter. She also directed people to mamaon3.org for help for the 7 other victims in that crash. And to help and to donate to that fund, just go to 10news.com and click on the red button at the top of the homepage.
Tonight, senators are gearing up for a critical phase in President Trump's impeachment trial. On Friday, lawmakers in the upper chamber will cast their vote, including new witness testimony and documents in the proceedings. A pivotal moment that could bring former National Security Advisor John Bolton and former Vice President Joe Biden to the stand. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi is in Washington with more.
For 8 hours, House managers and the president's defense team fielded the final questions from senators in the second phase of President Trump's impeachment trial. Democrats using the moment to make a final attempt to sway the upcoming vote on new witness testimony and documents, and arguing that new revelations in former National Security Advisor John Bolton's unpublished book, which reportedly state the president told Bolton he withheld military aid from Ukraine for political purposes, underscores their argument.
Let's take a week to have a fair trial. You can continue your business. We can get the business of the country done. Is that too much to ask in the name of fairness?
But the president's lawyers say that it is the president's right to block witnesses, including Bolton, without the presumption of guilt. Trump's legal team also doubling down on a surprising new defense in which they state it is also within the president's authority to launch investigations into political rivals on behalf of national and personal interests.
Yes, if there was a conduct by a U.S. person overseas that potentially violated the law of that country, but didn't violate the law of this country, but there was a national interest in having some information about that.
House managers immediately trying to shut down that argument.
It's astonishing that on the floor of this body someone would make that argument. What we have seen over the last couple days is a descent into constitutional madness.
The head of the Federal Election Commission has previously stated that accepting foreign assistance in an election is a crime, and the FBI director says if a campaign receives an offer, they should contact his agency. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
We have new information tonight. The husband of a missing Connecticut mother is dead following an apparent suicide attempt. An attorney for Fotis Dulos confirmed that he died today after attempting suicide on Tuesday. Dulos was supposed to be in court that day for an emergency bond hearing. His estranged wife, Jennifer Dulos, disappeared back in May and has not been seen or heard from since. She and Fotis Dulos were in an ongoing divorce and custody battle over their 5 children. He was arrested on murder and kidnapping charges earlier this month and pleaded not guilty.
Police have arrested a 16-year-old boy suspected in the killing of a 19-year-old outside the Linda Vista Rec Center. Nam Nguyen was shot to death after an argument broke out on the Rec's basketball courts in November. San Diego police say they increased patrols to crack down on the recent wave of violence in the area. Dr. Corey Pahanish works as the executive director of the Bayside Community Center. He says more needs to be done.
More after-school programming for teens, programs that are helping to support single mothers in this neighborhood.
From May to November of 2019, we reported on a total of 5 shootings in the area. Some of those were fatal and involved teenagers and gangs.
It appears the store owned by a man who got into a fight with reporters in La Mesa has since closed.
Really? That's what I say.
You cut it off! Stop it!
Come on.
Peter Karzis was arrested following this altercation with media outside his clothing store last week. Well, today we went back to the store. A blue tarp covers the front doors and the window displays, and the shelves, they're empty. Karzis is due in court next month to face various charges.